Hi folks, it's Cruiser 777 here, and we're on this beautiful morning. It's January 22nd, and I'm reporting to you today. I kind of want to do a little bit about philosophy. Giving a shout out to Falcon 199. He did ask me a question recently about one of my favorites that I just posted up. It's called the Patriotic Nurse put a clip out, a little film about talking to women and prepping. So I'm going to be talking about prepping for women and how I think not only you should approach it, but a little bit about philosophy, about how I got started and involved with it. And it is important because in a case of a catastrophic event, what are you going to do as a woman, and how is it that you're going to prepare for it? Now, the thing about women is we're very resourceful people. We deal with all different types of circumstances. You can be a single mom, you could be a family, a part of a family, you know, with the husband, wife, nuclear family. You can be living by yourself. There's lots of different life circumstances women go through, and either way, you need to be prepared in case of a circumstance. Not everybody is blessed to have a partner and to work as a teamwork. In that case, if you're on your own, it's best to plan 5-10 steps ahead of the rest of people. For us as women, safety and security is very important to us. So how are you going to do to keep that safety and security going? Most people think of not only having their financials together, like an emergency fund. I personally do have an emergency fund. I was introduced into Dave Ramsey by General Biggs, along with a couple of other really important resources, which I'll talk about shortly, and I've really adopted it. It's made a big sense. I mean, you need to be not only financially prepared in case of an emergency circumstance. What if, for example, the banks weren't giving out your money? So do you have a stash in your house where you have funds? Not only that, we're really good, going back to the primitive days of hunter-gatherer. We're good at collecting things, nesting, sitting on our eggs, right? So one thing we can do is we can put together food and water and just store it and stash it in different places. You could have caches all over the place. How I got into prepping was brought about by General Biggs. I got really into prepping, or also known as AKA Team Alpha Task Force. And he approached it in a very realistic and reasonable sort of way. I mean, for example, not to say that this is definitely going to happen, but if in case of a big catastrophe like an earthquake, a huge earthquake, or a fire or a flood, what do you have prepared in those type of circumstances, and what are you willing to do to make sure that that your resources, that your assets are being taken care of? I think that's important to consider and to plan ahead in doing. So on a realistic point of view, I'm surprised that I don't see more women. However, I think women do in general. They do prep, but they don't take the train of mind of training for an event or for getting tactical with it. And as a Patriotic Nurse had mentioned, most of the men who do film, and God bless them, on it is mostly tactical, knives, cutlery, guns and whatnot. Not to say that I don't enjoy doing it, because I mean I have a little bit of tomboy in me. I like to get out there with the guys and fire the airsoft and whatnot, but I do think it's important for women to be physically fit. I've trained for marathons before. For a full, I've done a half, I've done some 5Ks. I want to get into some triathlons, and just so that I can conquer that part of myself. I like to be able to stay physically fit, but in case of an emergency circumstance, you're going to want to keep up whatever it is. So yeah, we've had our routes, and we train, and we bike all the way out to the mountains and whatnot. And we're going to be doing more so shortly, but it is something that's really important to do. Also, in the case of a circumstance of war, not to say that, war will ever hit our home front, but if it does, it is good to know how to fire a gun. Now, I'm not saying that it's important for all women to have a weapon, but I do think it's important to have some knives or a firearm. I'm certified to buy a firearm or fire a firearm. I took the safety handgun course here in Huntington Beach, but I don't own a firearm yet, and I'm planning on getting that. But mostly when it comes to talking to women, I would just appeal to the reasonable side, the safety side, the security side. Of course, we want to feel taken care of, and we want to feel provided for. But as from a woman talking to other women, it just only makes good sense to have your rations, to have a plan in mind, to have your emergency contacts together. This way, in case of an emergency, you have everything prepared and all the steps in place. And, think about the different things that may arise. Could it be an earthquake? Could it be a flood? Could it be whatever the circumstance may be, a martial law? What do you have in set? What kind of systems do you have in place as a woman to prepare yourself and to ready yourself? But other than that, that's all that I really have to say on that. Thank you so much. This is Cruiser 777 out.